And we're back with another $100 meal plan this week. So, yes, we are going to do breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, dessert, everything for a family of four for under $100 at Walmart. And I live in Georgia and it's not unbearably hot here, but I know a lot of you live in areas where it is just crazy humid. So, we're going to do it all without an oven. That means we're primarily going to rely on the stovetop and the grill. So, let's get into this. Here is the overview of our plan this week. I did forget to mention that we are going to use a crock pot as well, because that definitely falls under low effort. Now, before I forget, if you go down to the description, you can go to my website where you can see all of the slides as well as print a free printable PDF. I have like a gigantic book that has all of the meal plans printed out, ready to go. And you can too, because it's just nice to have everything in one spot. So, all right, let's look at the shopping list this week. Now, I almost want to call this a pantry stock up just because we're going to use a lot of pantry basics, and I'm assuming that you don't have them. The only thing that I'm assuming you have is your favorite cooking oil and your favorite seasonings. So, literally everything else is on this list, and our total only came out to $88.40. So, that means if you have a pretty well stocked pantry, you could easily get this for way less. And what I mean by pantry staples, I'm talking about some pretty basics: beef broth, white rice, some noodles. What about breadcrumbs, mustard, vinegar, mayo, vanilla extract, cinnamon? I mean, those are all kind of basics that I already have and you may already have as well. So let's move on. Now, here are some visuals just in case you're not super familiar with Walmart. And I do want to point out that for the stir fry veggies, we're going to get the ones at the produce department and it already has a thing of sauce. But if you don't like any of the flavors they have, you can easily go to the frozen section, get a bag of the the veggies with the sauce already. And we're going to do the 3 pound bag of chicken breasts just because we didn't need the full 5 pounds that a family pack is. And honestly, the ones that are already frozen are just as good. We are going to use Spam this week, but actually, I got the Great Value brand, which they call Luncheon Loaf. Now, if you don't like Spam, that's totally fine. You can easily substitute that out for ham, for chicken, for ground turkey, anything you want. And I think, oh, the last one that I wanted to tell you is the diced potatoes. These are canned potatoes. It's a 15-ounce can. I prefer to get the diced. You can get them in sliced or whole, but the dice just makes it easier. Okay, let's move on. Now, day one typically falls on a Sunday for us. So you can always just rearrange this however you like it. But for breakfast, we're going to do some easy egg and sausage wraps. And the wraps are going to be tortillas. Now, what I would do, because we are going to be using the breakfast sausage for 2 breakfasts, go ahead and cook up the full amount and take half and put it in a container for later. And then you can either remove the ground sausage after you've browned it and then do your eggs, or go ahead and mix it all up together. It's up to you. Put it in some wraps. My kids actually like it with a little sour cream on there, but that's up to you. And then we're going to do half a banana for everybody. Now, you may be asking why only half a banana, because I have found that kids don't always eat a whole banana. I can always give them more banana, but once I give them a whole banana, they don't finish it. It's got to go in the trash. So we always start with half a banana. Now, for lunch, we're going to do some simple turkey sandwiches with watermelon and pretzels. And the reason why I'm doing that today is because let's go ahead and cut up that watermelon into chunks for the whole week, and it's done. Then for dinner, this is super easy. We're going to do a crock pot salsa chicken. And it literally is as simple as it seems, because we're going to put our chicken at the bottom. We're going to put some salsa on top, and we're just going to let that cook. You can do it on high for 2 to 3 hours or do it on low for 4 to 6, and it's going to shred up wonderfully. Now, because of the salsa, it does have a good sauce. So we're going to serve this over rice, and then we're just going to do a simple can of corn with that. Now, the sweet treat this week is going to be no-bake Reese's bars, and oh my God, they are delicious. It is so yummy. One thing that I do want to mention is when you make the Reese's bars, you're going to set it in the fridge, but don't wait a couple hours for it to set, because then it's going to be very difficult to cut. So I put the whole pan in the fridge for like 20, 30 minutes, just to where it's firm enough for me to cut it. And I do it with like a big chef's knife. And then once it's done, you can either store these in like an airtight container in the fridge or on the countertop. I kind of like it cool during the summertime because then it's a nice treat. But you can also leave these out at room temperature. But you got to make sure it sets in the fridge first. All right, let's go to day 2. For day 2, we are going to do some easy French toast with peaches. Now, I'm not a huge fan of pancake syrup. So for these, what I do is I take a can of peaches and I go ahead and basically divide it in two because we're going to have French toast for 2 days. So I take half the peaches and I just kind of roughly chop them. Sometimes I just use a fork to kind of make them smaller. And then I'm going to use that peach juice instead of like maple syrup. But if you have maple syrup, you can do that. We are going to have powdered sugar this week. So we could do a combination of powdered sugar and peaches and juice. For lunch, we're going to take any of the leftover salsa chicken we have, and we're going to make some super simple tacos for lunch. For dinner, we're going to have a chili mac with some green beans. This is one of my favorite dishes. We do it all the time, and it's super simple. Okay, let's go to day 3. Now, not every morning has to be a super complicated breakfast. So for the 3rd day, we're going to do just some simple peanut butter toast with some watermelon. For dinner, we're going to have any leftovers because that chili mac makes a good amount. And then for dinner, we're going to have some grilled chicken pesto sandwiches. This is so, oh my gosh, unbelievably yummy. But here's the kicker. We're going to take all the rest of the chicken breasts and we're going to go ahead and grill them. Now, we only need 4 pieces of chicken for tonight's dinner, but we're going to need the rest for another dinner. So we're going to cook all the chicken tonight so we can have half of it later. And then since your grill's already hot, we're going to go ahead and kind of toast our buns on there. And then I just slather them with some pesto sauce. And then I put my piece of chicken, I put a piece of provolone cheese and some tomato. And oh my God, it's so yummy. Now, the other thing is we're going to make potato salad, but not just any potato salad. This is like super quickie potato salad that we're going to make with a can of diced potatoes. I just tried this a few days ago and I was very shocked at how well it came out. You're going to do your basic mayo, mustard, maybe you want to add a hard-boiled egg, favorite seasoning, maybe you like relish in it. Just go ahead and do that. And then you don't have to boil potatoes. It's already done. I do recommend that you rinse and drain the potatoes first, just so that way if they have any of that kind of aluminum taste is gone. And then for the sides on here, we're just going to do some easy cucumber slices. You can dip them in ranch or leave them plain. It's just kind of a nice, fresh alternative to like potato chips. And because it's hot, you want something cool. For day 4, we're going to do those egg and sausage wraps again with half a banana. For lunch, we're going to do some super simple egg salad sandwiches with a side of crackers. And then for dinner, we're going to have Spam stir-fry noodles. Now, like I said, if you don't like Spam, that's totally fine. It's just a cheap alternative. Now, you could also get a ham steak. You could get, the end pieces of ham where it's already sliced. That would work too. I have some of that in my freezer. Or if you want, you could use chicken or just get one of those rolls of ground turkey. Any of those will work. But this is a super easy, low-effort dinner because we're going to have the veggies that already have the sauce. And really all we're going to do is boil some thin spaghetti noodles. While that's working, we're going to go ahead and fry our meat. And then we add the stir fry vegetables. I add just a little bit of water and then I put the lid on so it kind of steams it. And then once everything is pretty good, then I add the little sauce pack, stir it around. And then I like to mix my spaghetti noodles in with everything so it's already combined. But you could easily do it over spaghetti noodles. And then that one's super simple. It's not going to be a ton for leftovers, but it's a really good meal and it's kind of easy. So for day 5, we're going to do French toast again, and we're going to have that other half of a can of peaches. For lunch, we're going to do this is one of my favorites, and I hadn't had it in a while, but it's peanut butter and banana sandwiches with pretzels. And the reason I chose pretzels is because the sandwich is kind of sweet, so you kind of need that salty to go with it. And then for dinner, we're going to do Salisbury steak with rice, but we're going to do it super simple. You're basically going to make a mixture that's similar to meatloaf, but you're going to make patties like you would for hamburgers. and then you just fry it in a pan. And then depending on what kind of ground beef you get, you may want to drain off some grease. If you get a higher count, you can leave it because it adds flavor to the gravy. And then once it's cooked, I just go ahead and take my gravy seasoning pack and I whisk it with the water in like my measuring cup, and then I pour it over and just let it kind of bubble so it thickens. And then we're just going to do super simple sides with frozen Brussels sprouts. I steam them in the microwave, and then I just add some butter. And my kids lately like the Parmesan cheese on top. You can also just add some extra seasoning, and that's really yummy. For day 6, that jar of pesto was kind of big, so we're just going to do a pesto turkey grilled cheese with watermelon for breakfast. Now, my husband likes to go ahead and add a fried egg on top of this, but my kids are actually just happy with the turkey and pesto part. We do use that provolone cheese. You can use whatever cheese that you have. Um, we're going to go ahead and use up any of the dinner leftovers that we've had this week. And then for dinner, we're going to have a chicken broccoli salad. This is one of those where it's super simple. You've already got your grilled chicken breast, so we're just going to chop it up. We're going to have 2 heads of broccoli because you need about 8 cups, which comes out to about 2 heads. And then make sure that you save the stalk from the broccoli because you can use that for broccoli soup. And I just throw them in my freezer, and then once I have a couple, I can make it. And then some green onions. And we're just going to make a super simple, kind of like a coleslaw dressing where it's mayo, vinegar, and sugar. You can also add whatever seasonings you like. And then some, the crumpled bacon bits. And then you just mix it together. I like to let it sit in the fridge for a little while. So this is easily something you can make ahead of time. Like if you know you're going to be busy that day, then when you get home, you just pull it out of the fridge and boom, it's ready to go. Now, I would also serve this with garlic bread because we'll have 4 hamburger buns left over. So you can easily do that. I don't want to use my oven though, so I would just pop these in the toaster oven or the air fryer and just make those really quick. So now, just a reminder, you don't have to do these on the exact days that I would do them. I just wanted to give you an idea of how to make these meals in a kind of concentric way. So, totally, you can adjust as needed for your schedule and how your family works best. So, I hope this $100 meal plan can help you out this week. Definitely loving the low effort, low heat, and just yummy on a budget. Now, if you want to find more menus or find this one, you can always go to our website. I'm going to link that down below. It has a link not only to my website where you can go print the PDF, but I also have a link to the grocery list on Walmart. So you can see every item on there. And it's just super simple. You don't even have to search each of the items. Now, you can also find us over on Facebook. Just search Lodo Family. We do lots of like food news and food discussions and lots of meal ideas there. We also have a meal planning Facebook group that anyone can join, and you can go and ask questions. You can share your meal plan. If you get stuck meal planning, this is a great resource. And then last but not least, don't forget to sign up for the email newsletter because we send it out on Fridays, and it'll just give you easy to follow links every week to the meal plan, to our PDFs, and to our meal ideas. So I hope you all have a wonderful week and try to beat the heat. I know it's coming. It's just not here yet. The high's been about 91, and I know it's going to get crazy high. So I'm enjoying it while I can. All right, gotta go. Bye.